All right, here we are in action. Now, I've been playing with this most of the day. I couldn't be happier. Let me just get a few things out of the way. Is it more accurate? No, but Adam never said it was. You're limited by the scale, right? I mean, the scale can only measure 2/100ths. So, a kernel of powder is a kernel of powder. You can't change that. Is it any faster? Well, I think we're going to get there where it's just a hair faster depending on the powder you're dropping. I certainly know that it's not any slower. But also, this is pre-production. So, there's still software tweaks that myself and some other people are helping him with in terms of user side interface. And I definitely like where he's going with it. I probably have a few more adjustments than the final one will have, but the ability to sort of set a ratio on speed versus accuracy really is nice. And so I think that people are going to find a balance for what they want to do. And ultimately, I think he's going to get it set where 99% of the people out of the box are going to get really great results. And then still maybe a little bit of wiggle room for those that want to push some boundaries on what it can do. I've been loading for a big match. So I'm at the tail end of loading up about 240 rounds. I've been playing with the settings, like I said. I've got it set pretty aggressively, so I am accepting a certain margin of error, to test something out, but it really isn't even causing that many problems. Let me show you a neat little feature here. Watch. We talked about this green light. Watch when this thing hits the desired charge. You'll see the green light come on. Boom. Do you see that? Let me do it one more time here. It's really not, even with the lights on, it reflects off the pan. So from this angle, it's tougher to see, but looking down on it, it's pretty dead on in terms of being able to see it. So it's kind of cool when you hit the weight, even though you can read where you are. The fact that it hits green and lets you know is pretty cool. So let me get these lights back on. Now, I know in my comments, one of the biggest questions has been, oh, Adam wants you to put the pan on the edge. Oh, that's going to ruin accuracy. No, not true at all. The way the scale is designed, it's designed to be 100% repeatable wherever you zero it at, okay? Now, if I put it in the middle of the pan and I zero it and then I bring it to the edge, yes, it's going to read or potentially read differently, all right? And that's no secret. So if I put my pan right here on the edge and I zero it, oh, shoot. It's going to start drumming powder. Hang on. I forgot to turn off the powder. That was almost a mess. Okay, so I just turned off the powder. So if I put my pan on the edge and I zero it, okay, then every time I put it on the edge, it's going to zero. Now, if I move this pan over to the side, and I know you probably can't see this, it's off by 6/100ths, but that's not because of the V4. And if I put it over here, it's even. And if I put it in the back, it's off by 4/100ths. So if you think of it, 6 o'clock is dead on every time because that's where I zeroed it. Okay, so it's going to zero out. If I go to some other orientation, yeah, of course it's going to be off, but that's no different than how it's worked in the past. It's just everybody's used to zeroing it on the center of the pan. So that being said, if you are not comfortable, I have been testing this today, and I've moved my stop pretty far forward so you can see where the my particular pan will go. And I could probably go a little further if I wanted to. And that just happens to be where I've calibrated and zeroed the pan. Now, if you want to use it where he has it, I did about 100 rounds that way. It was fine. It doesn't care. So don't let that bother you. All right. One other thing I'll show you, I still need to drop some powder, but just in the interest of showing you guys, let me just show you how you empty this, because that's another thing that people have brought up. Oh, it's, it looks kind of clunky to unload. Honestly, I kind of was worried about the same thing. Like, I kept an open mind. I thought, okay, but I watched the video with you guys. I saw what it took, and I thought, okay, like, let me see what happens in real life. Way better in real life than I ever expected. So here's what you want to do. Make sure you turn off the drop so that you don't accidentally drop more powder. You want to rotate your powder hopper so that it's closed. And now if you remember, when you remove this, it won't drop any powder. You cannot bring this off of the unit until it's closed. Now, if I moved real fast, I might drag some powder with me. But even at that, the way he designed it, it's got a lower lip on it here. Whoop. It's got a lower lip on it here. So the powder actually sits maybe 1/8 of an inch down. So it's pretty tough to do that. And I will tell you, if that's full and this is full, you can still put this back on and do that, right? So it's not one of those cases where, oh, once you take it off, you have to empty it to put it back on. No, you can take it off and put it back on without a problem. All right, so we're gonna remove the hopper. Okay, so that's step one. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm just gonna show you the way that I've achieved it. Because I've got a wall back here, and you know, I'm guessing a lot of people are probably gonna work against a wall. All I've done is taken a Vitivori can because I like it. It's square, but any plastic box, you know, you get a dollar store container or something, but just something small and shallow. All I do is bring it on the back side, and if you remember, on the back side, there's a sliding window just like this. Okay, so all I'm going to do is put this under that. Okay, and all the powder just came out, and I lower that flap back down, and you can see the powder that just came out. Okay. And then you're probably thinking, well, what about the powder that is in the tubes here? So we've got powder in the large tube and powder in the small tube. Well, it really couldn't be easier. Just making sure that this flap is down. All I do is lift this off and then tilt backwards. And then if you want, you can just hit it with a little bit of compressed air through both tubes. Okay, set it back down. Take my little container back here again. And now it is completely empty. If I was switching powders, you know, it's possible I might take a final look just to make sure every single kernel was out of there. But I've done this a few times now, and with at least with like 4350 and Reloader 16 and stuff, I haven't seen anything hang up in there. I can imagine maybe little small ball powders or something might stick. But that's it, guys. Like, I just emptied the thing. Super, super simple. So, and then... Again, this is closed. I need to put it back in because I still have some loading to do. So I'm just going to stick it on, turn this. Now it's open. Now, another thought you might have is, oh, well, now you need to prime the system. Nope. I dropped a kernel in there. Okay. So watch how fast this does this. So it's already primed and dropping. So, I mean, it's crazy fast up and running like that. And so that's been really, really fun to deal with. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching these videos. I know there's a lot of you waiting for the V4. Hopefully this is giving you answers to what you want to know. But if there's something you want to know about this, something you want me to try, don't be afraid to hit me up in the comments below. One final thing, let me point out. This thing is really smart in the sense that you don't have this anymore, right? So if you remember, on the V3, every time you moved up, like maybe for a ladder test over time, or if you're changing powders, you're constantly moving this thing in and out. And while it was great at the time, I think anybody who goes between powders knows that it can be a little bit of inconvenience. You don't have that, right? This thing knows and is smart enough to know that when you have different powders, or even when you're working through a ladder test, it knows that it needs to add extra powder as you add volume or take away volume. So if I go from 50 grains to 55 grains for some reason, it will continue to add extra powder in the large drop and then make up for it in the trickle like it should. Or if I start at 55 and work backwards, it will take away powder from the large drop. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. It's smart enough to know what it's doing. And you know, same thing if you go between powders. If I suddenly go from a Reloader 16 to like 565 or Retumbo or something like that, it doesn't care. It's going to know what it needs to put in the large tube and then trickle up in order to make it accurate for what you are going to drop. So again, just a lot of really good thought went into it. It's been really good to use. And then listen real quick. It's crazy quiet. Like, it's really soothing. So, you know, there you go. That is my up and running video. I've obviously got some more stuff in the works. I'll show you how the app is working. once we get a finalized version, and then I will give you a little bit more of a detailed tour of it as I play with it some more. So thanks for taking a look. Hope you guys are having a good day. We'll talk later.